ये बोल रहे हैं मैसेज ये खलील पड़ेगा आगे में और रास्ते में नीचे काफी ठीक। Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I welcome you all on behalf of Comstech, all distinguished guests, on today's occasion of celebrating World Science Day for Peace and Development. The theme for this year's World Science Day is Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development. This event is being a joint collaboration between UNESCO, comstech, EcoScience Foundation, Pakistan Academy of Sciences, and Pakistan Science Foundation. And we have the representation from each of these institutions present here today. So to formally begin today's event, I would like to start with recitation from the Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah. Just to brief our participants here today, those present physically and those joined to us virtually, the format of today's event. We will start with remarks by representation of each of the collaborating institutions, followed by a panel discussion to conclude the event. To start off, I would like to now invite for the welcome address, Professor Dr. Muhammad Iqbal Chaudhary, Coordinator General, Comstech.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Dr. Yusuf Filali, country representative of UNESCO. He only recently arrived, so I'd like to welcome him to Pakistan as well as to Comstech. Thank you very much, sir. Honorable Ambassador Nafis Zakaria, very well-known person. You know, he's perhaps more known than many of our politicians, but for all good reason, Executive Director of Comsets, and this is his first physical appearance because he has recently taken over responsibility of this very important commission. My dear brother, Professor Dr. Shahid, Chairman of Pakistan Science Foundation, Secretary General, my dear brother, Professor Dr. Tasawwur Hayat of Pakistan Science Foundation. We don't have Chairman EcoScience Foundation, but I'm sure that there are representatives of this important organization. We have rectors, we have Dr. Asna with us, Dr. Mukhtar, and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, and thank you very much for coming this morning for celebrating an extremely important event, which is now becoming almost of a tradition of this hall, this auditorium. And the good thing about this event today is that we are organizing it in collaboration with top international and national organizations, uh, which are responsible of the promotion of science, technology, culture of science, the ethics of science, and others. And I'd like to name that we have Pakistan Science Foundation, Eco Science Foundation, ComSets, UNESCO, Pakistan Academy of Sciences, and of course, comstech together. The theme of this year, Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development, is very close to my heart because I've been working in the field of basic science since last 100 years, so you can gauge the age of my functional life. Is extremely important because we understand fundamental science is the basis of all technological innovation and all interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, cross-disciplinary sciences, which eventually lead to innovation, inventions. So it's extremely important that we are very fortunate with us. Followed by these brief remarks, we will have a very good panel discussion by some very prominent scientists of the country who also manage science, run societies, as well as have contributed immensely, and that include Professor Dr. Zabta Khan Shinwari. He will be joining us. He's a UNESCO laureate. Professor Dr. Aslam Beg, very celebrated scientist of the country, and very well-known physicist, and Dr. Nazir Muhammad from Park, Austria University in Haripo. See, science and technology has played an extremely important role in the global transformation. We all know during the pre-technology era, the impact of human activity was negligible, but we all know that what we have done has paradoxical effect. On one hand, we have a lot of development which made life easy for us, more efficient, more productive, but at the same time, the impact of science has been felt. Technological development, industrial development as a result of science has impacted the global environment in a very negative manner. See, the reason is that the technological development of Renaissance in science and technology has been just prior to colonization. The technology which developed as a result of the science generated during that time has been extremely wasteful. These are linear processes which based on extracting the tremendous amount of raw material from vast land of colonial areas. And as a result, the whole philosophy was based on producing less from more. And as a result of it, you see a lot of impact and a lot of dissymmetry. So on one hand, science has played a central role in human development. Green revolution fed the hungry and protected against widespread famine. Global life expectancy has extended to over 26 years in last 50 years. We're now ready to live over 100 years of age. Many of you will live over 100 years of age. So be ready that you would be actually having a centennial and you would still be very productive in your life. So we have benefited from the scientific discoveries. Antibiotics, antivirals, many life-saving drugs are now available to millions of people all around the world. Within 11 months, think of what basic science can do. During the pandemic, the basic scientists has contributed immensely. Within a month, the genome was already out. People were already on 9th of January. People were out on the chalkboard designing vaccines and others. The whole molecular biology of SARS-CoV virus was completely deciphered. The structural chemistry of the virus was completely deciphered. We knew exactly other, we will all be needing that. And for that, we need to have basic sciences. Now, I don't want to go on for a very long period of time. I just want to tell you that within the OIC, we face a lot of problems. This is 57 countries spread over 4 continents, 1.9 billion population, which is growing with the rate of 2.15 annually. We are the fastest growing people, Ummah, in the world. And as a result of it, there is a tremendous pressure on natural resources as well as on a number of other challenges which we face today. The OIC unfortunately face a great dissymmetry, because if you look into any development parameter, OIC unfortunately fall well below the world average. And this is a challenge which comstech has to face, and many other OIC institutions has to face. And this is where we would like to contribute. I would like to just brief you about some of the major initiatives of comstech. You see, comstech being a committee of science and technology of 57 ministers responsible of science, technology, health, and environment is working closely with many organizations within the OIC system and beyond. And we have the largest scholarship, research fellowship, capacity building program in the OIC system. We have initiated lots of bilateral and multilateral cooperation within the OIC and beyond. We have very close collaboration with many international organizations, including International Foundation of Science, International Center for Genetic and Biotechnology, and many other organizations, including the World Academy of Sciences. And through these international linkages, we are able to contribute in developing capacity, not only building human resources, but also developing infrastructure. So we have been working closely with this aim, and that we have been working closely with the OIC General Secretariat, with our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, as well as with the Ministry of Science and Technology, and have been running a very large portfolio of programs, about 150 different programs. I can name a few: that 500 fellowships for Palestinian students and faculty members has attracted lots of world attention. We have a comstech consortium of excellence comprised of some of the finest research institutions which are known for their credentials, credibility, and excellence in terms of their capacity to conduct basic sciences. We have a comstech-oic program, which is a large program for supporting science and science project. We are the custodian of OIC technology portal. We have ICGEB fellowship in biotechnology for Africa. So we run a large program in the field of virology. We have a special program for women scientists. We have been linking various institutions together. So all with the aim of developing capacity, institution linkages, and cooperation. And of course, all these organizations which are partnering with us in this important event have similar mandate. And with that shared goal and mission, we all set to work together. I think the spirit of today's event is to develop understanding and appreciation that the problem is huge and alone no institution will be able to do much, and we all have to work together. We're very fortunate to have UNESCO country representative, Dr. Yusuf, with us, and that I'm sure that we'll be working closely with him and we'll be able to use this vast network of UNESCO institutions, UNESCO chairs, UNESCO centers of excellence, UNESCO networks to expand the message, and we'll be able to do something meaningful for the world. Pakistan Science Foundation is a premier institution which support science and technology. It is the core institution which right from the beginning is responsible of promoting scientific research, fundamental basic scientific research. And we are very fortunate that we have one of the leading scientists of the country now heading Pakistan Science Foundation. We hope to develop a very active program with Pakistan Science Foundation. We also have ComSets with almost a similar mandate, but with the countries which not only similar to ComStech, but also some more. And science allow us to work with many other countries beyond OIC. And therefore, ComSets is a likely partner for us to develop programs. And with the leadership of very eminent diplomat, Muhammad Nafi Zakaria Saab, I'm confident that we'll be able to develop these programs. Pakistan Academy of Sciences is part and parcel of comstech. We all are fellows of Pakistan Academy of Sciences. Tasawwur is a very dear friend and dear colleague, and I'm sure that with the signing of MOU, which we have recently completed, we'll be able to generate lots of programs. I would like to welcome you to Comstech and would like you to kindly engage with many programs of not only Comstech, but also the other partner organization, because your active participation will play an extremely important role in developing the mission of science and technology and contributing towards the development of responsible science. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Up next, I would like to invite Chairman, Pakistan Science Foundation, Professor Dr. Shahid Mahmood. Please, sir.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Professor Tasawwur Hayat, Professor Yusuf Naknasi, Professor Iqbal Chaudhry, and Dr. Nafiz Zakaria, Professor Beg, Professor Mukhtar, eminent scientists, fellow scientists, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, students. Indeed, it's a real privilege and honor for me to be here in this morning, in this wonderful event to celebrate the World Science Day together with ComStech, with Pakistan Academy of Sciences, UNESCO, ComSets, and ECO-SF. World Science Day was established in 2001 with the theme of peace for development. And for this year, the theme is peace for sustainable development. Basic science for sustainable development. The basic science is vital for the advancement of science in industry, in agriculture, in health, in energy conservation, water resources, and every field of science. The importance of basic science can be realized by the several inventions. Behind those inventions, there is decade of basic research involved. We can take the example of transistor radio, which was introduced, which was brought into the market in the early 1950s. And behind that invention, there was 50 years of basic research involved. And as a result, we have smartphone in our pockets. Similarly, the DNA double helix, it was discovered by Watson and Crick in 1953. And in 2003, the human genome was sequenced. And now, on the basis of these basic science, the diseases are diagnosed at a very early stage. We have treatment for several diseases which were incurable a few years ago. And there are several other examples. Another example is the invention of the PCR, the polymerase chain reaction, which was invented in 1983 by American scientist Gary Mullis. And now, on the basis of that PCR reaction, in which from one fragment of DNA, we can amplify, we can replicate millions of fragments of DNA in 1 to 3 hours time. And on the basis of this technique, now the early diagnosis of several diseases is possible, which was unthinkable a few years ago. Now, on the basis of this technique, prenatal diagnosis is possible, pre-implantation genetic diagnosis is possible. So this all implies, and the precision medicine is possible for several diseases, for cancers, for genetic disorders, for infectious diseases. Similarly, the mathematical sciences, these provide the prediction tools for various biological phenomena, predictions about the environment, how the environment will behave, how various diseases will behave after a few years, what will be the mode of their action, mode of spread, how these will be controlled. So Pakistan Science Foundation and various science bodies in Pakistan, we try to emphasize especially on the basic sciences. All over the world, 10 to 30% of the funding is being allocated to the basic sciences. From the platform of Pakistan Science Foundation, we are allocating about 30% of our funding for the basic research, which is very important, which is vital for the advancement of science. Pakistan Science Foundation is the apex body of science in Pakistan, and the main mandate is to support the basic and applied science, and for to promote the science and to fund the science, to popularize the science are other functions of Pakistan Science Foundation. The World Science Day is celebrated on 10th of November, and on 10th of November, we held a program to launch the STEM program in Pakistan. STEM is the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, which is very important to introduce the basic sciences, to make our young students understand the basic mechanism, inquiry-based science, to develop their skills, their cognitive skills, etc. Under this STEM program, in the first phase, we are going to establish 50 STEM schools all over the Pakistan. And we have started this program from Balochistan, which is the less privileged area in Pakistan. 10 schools have been inaugurated. And now we are gradually establishing these schools in Punjab, in Sindh, and in other areas of Pakistan. Ultimately, this program will go up to 450 schools all over Pakistan to introduce the STEM program. Another program of Pakistan Science Foundation is Science Talent Farming Scheme. It is to motivate our young students, young scholars to come into the basic sciences, to excel in mathematics. We need a top line mathematician in Pakistan. We need physicists, we need bioinformaticians. So the mandate of these programs is to motivate our young scientists to come into basic sciences so we can contribute the contribution which is due to us. Pakistan Science Foundation is also supporting various research projects which are of basic and applied nature. Under the research support program, Science Foundation is supporting the basic research in agriculture, in health, in industry, in computer sciences, IT, etc. And under the applied sciences, again, we have several funding lines. And the main mandate is to promote and popularize the science. And now we have, under this joint program, now we are joining hands with comstech, with EcoSF, and with UNESCO to further strengthen the establishment of basic sciences in Pakistan. So it's a wonderful event today, and I am again thankful to the organizer, the participant, for coming to this event. And I am hopeful that at the end of this session, we will have a very good discussion to discuss the science in Pakistan and the promotion of basic and applied science in Pakistan. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, sir, for your remarks. Up next, I would like to invite Secretary General, Pakistan Academy of Sciences, Professor Dr. Tasawwur Hayat. Please, sir.
Honorable Coordinator General, Professor Muhammad Iqbal Chaudhry Sahab, His Excellency Ambassador Muhammad Nafis Zakaria, Chairman Science Foundation, Professor Shahid Mahmood Beg, Dr. Yusuf Halali, Director, UNESCO Islamabad. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. First of all, I wish to extend my heartfelt appreciations and thanks to the UNESCO office, Islamabad, Pakistan, for organizing this very useful event titled World Science Day for Peace and Development, Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development. In collaboration with comstech, Economic Cooperation Organization, ECO, Science Foundation, Pakistan Academy of Sciences, and the Pakistan Science Foundation at the Comstech Auditorium. Ladies and gentlemen, the term basic sciences can be lauded in a variety of contexts, including as a tool for revealing the essence of the universe and as a means of meeting fundamental human needs on our globe, the Earth. In fact, basic sciences, along with emerging technologies, respond to the needs of the humankind by providing access to information and increasing the health and well-being of individuals, communities, and societies, in the sense that these sciences offer necessary tools to address pressing issues, including ensuring everyone has access to food, electricity, healthcare, and communication technologies. Dear audience, the importance of basic sciences coupled with technology and innovation may be realized by two simple examples. Firstly is the example of Japan, which has historically invested more in basic science research than in the use of technology. This was done in light of the awareness that robust research advancements result in improved innovation for the application of science to industry, which affects both manufacturing quality and quantity. Over time, there have been more researchers in Japan at universities, research institutions, and businesses alike. According to them, the relative shift toward basic sciences would not only increase the quality of Japanese goods and therefore strengthen their economic sustainability. But it will also strengthen their position as one of the world's most advanced knowledge-based nations. The second example on the importance of basic sciences coupled with technology and innovation lies in the realization of very short time successful efforts in facing and mitigating the COVID-19 pandemic, which has been causing havoc in the world since 2019. Just imagine how much worse could the circumstance have been without the advancements and outcomes achieved over decades, if not centuries, by the scientific inquiry motivated by crisis. Therefore, the challenges of the global battle against the COVID-19 pandemic, for instance, serve as a sharp reminder of the value of basic disciplines like biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, and anthropology, among others. Importantly, the General Assembly of the United Nations has unanimously endorsed a resolution proclaiming 2022 as the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development. The United Nations General Assembly cited the high value of basic sciences for the humankind and noted that enhanced global awareness of and increased education in the basic sciences is vital to attain sustainable development and to improve the quality of life for people all over the world. It therefore appears that the basic sciences will be the beating heart of sustainable development over the years 2022 to 2023. Applications of basic sciences are essential for improvements in healthcare, business, agriculture, water resources, energy planning, the environment, communications, and culture. Basic science-based technologies also address the needs of humanity by facilitating access to information, boosting societal well-being, and fostering peace through improved cooperation on Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. Ladies and gentlemen, for developing countries like Pakistan, the adoption of the triad of science, technology, and innovation is quite critical to the achievement of SDGs. Fortunately, the government of Pakistan has affirmed its commitment to the UN 2030 agenda for sustainable development by adopting the SDGs in its own national development agenda through a unanimous National Assembly resolution in the year 2016. As such, Pakistan has integrated the SDGs in its ongoing and future development plans, policies, and programs. The government is therefore giving priority attention to science, technology, innovation within the available national budget and financial means in order to put the nation back on track of sustainable development. In 2018, the government of Pakistan designed and approved a national SDGs framework to prioritize and localize SDGs. Ladies and gentlemen, in the end, I would also like to take the opportunity to inform the audience that the Pakistan Academy of Sciences, established in 1953, is the supreme scientific body of distinguished scientists in the country and is serving as the academic and scientific face of Pakistan on the world map of academies of science. At present, there are 82 Pakistan National Fellows, 33 Foreign Fellows, and 23 Pakistan National members of the Academy. Many of these fellows hold top-ranking prestigious civil awards conferred upon them by the government of Pakistan and recognition of their innovative research in the field of science and technology. The mission of the Academy is to promote science, technology, and innovation for socio-economic development in the country. The mandate of the Academy is in line with STI-related national SDGs, and it includes the following key objectives. First one, to bring together scientists, academicians, and technologists from all fields to offer a platform for science and culture dialogue to carry out research at the frontiers of science in innovative areas of technology. Second, to facilitate communication between the public, politicians, policymakers, and the media on current trends and future roads for science, technology, and innovation. Third, to popular science presentations of frontline research and innovation. Fourth, to enhance public awareness of and interest in science and technology. Fifth, to enhance awareness of academicians, scientists, engineers, and technologists about the public rightful role. Since its inception, the fellows and members of Pakistan Academy of Sciences are supporting and contributing in the National Science Technology and Innovation Program for implementation of the National Sustainable Development Goals. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude my talk with the remarks that today, science and technology are not entirely the property of scientists, engineers, and technologists, but these develop through support of the public money and joint efforts of all stakeholders and pillars, including diplomats, representatives of national and international organizations, business people, media, and everyone with good intentions in order to activate connections between fundamental sciences and the SDGs. Science, technology, and innovations make nations strong and secure. The speed of technological changes is fast, and the scientific community in Pakistan and the region needs to join hands in order to streamline the mechanism to invent, innovate, and reinvent, continuously using strong bases of authority in science and technology. I am once again appreciative of the efforts of UNESCO, Islamabad office, and Comstech, along with its collaborators, for spearheading, sponsoring, and facilitating organization of this useful and impressive event. I am sure that the organization of this event will be very beneficial for the scientific and technical minds in this country for collaborative efforts in the domain of basic sciences for technological advancement and innovations that will lead towards much needed sustainable development for the uplift and well-being of the common masses, societies, and the environment in this country. I am very much indebted to the organizer for inviting me to present my remarks about today's scientific event. I wish the organizers an enlightening success and achievement in their endeavors and wisdom to hold this event. Thank you very much for all.
Thank you very much, sir, for your remarks. Before moving forward, I would like to welcome and thank Ambassador of Yemen and Ambassador of Uzbekistan, along with representation from Azerbaijan, Nigeria, and Iran. We are very thankful for having you here today. Moving on to the next remarks, to read out the remarks for President, EcoScience Foundation, Dr. Syed Humail Tayyibi, I would like to invite Mr. Khalid.
Thank you, Asif. So unfortunately, Professor Tayyibi had to travel, and so I have the pleasure to read out his message. Quote, Excellencies, distinguished guests, dear colleagues, a very good morning and Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of the ECO Science Foundation and on my personal behalf, I appreciate and congratulate our partners, Comstech, UNESCO, ComSets, Pakistan Science Foundation, Pakistan Academy of Sciences for providing this opportunity and bringing us all together to underline the importance of the World Science Day on the theme that's the basic sciences for the sustainable development. Dear colleagues, the key objective of the World Science Day is to help spread the awareness of power of science and technology. And a significant emphasis is placed on current issues in the world and how science can resolve or solve these issues. We all do recognize that the science has played a critical role in the economic growth and development of this world. Because of these inventions and innovations, we have achieved significant technological advancements which have continuously improved our lives. There are numerous aspects of life upon which science has a tremendous beneficial impact, including food security, pandemic, disease prevention, water security, climate change, energy, agriculture, and so on. And we have seen unprecedented economic growth in many industrialized nations, and which is mainly linked to the supportive policies and investments in science and technology sector, which have enabled them to establish competitive edge among the top world economies. So science and technology have even bigger role to play in developing nations such as ours with the respective member countries. Ladies and gentlemen, today we face enormous challenges, and it will be extremely difficult for us to improve our lives, feed our growing populations, protect our children, environment, if we do not create opportunities for all to benefit from science. Thus, we must invest in our young scientists to find efficient, cheaper, and smarter ways of manufacturing goods and commercializing them to respond to the global challenges. So the key thing is that we must invest in our youth, because today's child is tomorrow's scientist, entrepreneur, and policymaker. Thus, we must provide them with the opportunity to discover, inculcate the concept of inquiry and questioning in them. So while planning in this constantly changing world, scientific literate people at large, especially scientists and technology, will be at the core of the most of the challenges in responding to those needs. We should also focus on guiding our young students into STEM subjects in school and higher education. It will be crucial for us to take advantage of the wave of emerging technologies that is shifting the nature of work globally. In the context, educators, policymakers, businesses must form an alliance to ensure that education programs produce young workers with market relevant skills of emerging technologies. And as a result, we need to establish training and capacity building programs to reflect the evolving business needs in an ever more digital and automated workplace to ensure that we achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. I believe the global scientific community and the ECO member or the OIC members have all the potential to create economic and business opportunity to maintain prosperity in today's competitive global economy. Our future economic standing and development of a society solely depends on our ability to nurture our future generation of scientists. In the end, I would like to thank all the partners for their cooperation, participation, and assure that ECOSF will continue to cooperate and collaborate in the field of science, technology, innovation, for promotion of science education among young children and students for pursuing our common goals in the region. Unquote. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Khalid. Up next, I would like to invite Executive Director of ComSets, Ambassador Dr. Mohammad Nafees Zakaria. Please, sir.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. From diplomacy to science diplomacy, I feel like going back to the basics, and I think today's topic suits me well more than to anybody else. Thank you very much, Iqbal Sahab, for your kind words of introduction about me. Uh, on behalf of the Commission on Science and Technology for Sustainable Development in the South, I wish to thank Comstech, UNESCO, PSF, ECUSF, and PAS for coming together for commemorating this year's Science Day for Peace and Development. It is heartening to see high level of participation as I see the ambassadors, people from diplomatic community, scientists, and many people from the government, the many government officials. And as I also see, note that there are people who are online because this is being live streamed. I think this is a very good sign. Today's theme signifies the role of basic sciences for sustainable development, and that basic sciences could be instrumental in achieving the sustainable development goals. The theme also highlights its relevance for the developing countries in particular, and that they need to chalk out effective frameworks for creating meaningful linkages between academia and industry to reap the benefits of R&D work being carried out at the respective national level. In this age, science is at the stage of nanotechnology, and indeed, whether it is nanotechnology or it is any sort of advanced technology, you will find its roots in the basic sciences. So I think especially the developing countries, developing economies need to pay attention to the understanding the basics, and this has to be done through the academic institutions that we have. Ladies and gentlemen, science and technology has penetrated in every segment of human life, and its inevitable onslaught will continue in different manifestations regardless. Therefore, it is an imperative to make the best use of science and technology. The outbreak of novel coronavirus and earlier such pandemics have led to creation of new methodologies and scientific solutions to deal with the daunting challenges. COVID-19 infected 360 million people across the globe, and 6.5 million people, fall victim to this disease. But it has been contained to a great extent, and much has been said about this by Professor Iqbal already. The humanity at large is faced with greater challenges in the shape of food insecurity, unemployment, rising poverty, fragile healthcare delivery systems, as well as rapidly growing population, which, as per the UN statistics, will be about 8.5 billion by 2025. Exponential and accelerated increase in world population also translates into growing global energy needs, and we need to pay attention to that also. Moreover, formidable environmental and ecological challenges have been aggravated further due to unmindful human economic activities. The ecological problems are resulting in climate change, global warming, ozone layer depletion, air and water pollution, and deforestation. As a result, socioeconomic conditions worldwide, more so in the developing countries, are deteriorating. Recent floods in Pakistan and its aftermath is a case in point. Ladies and gentlemen, it is estimated that currently over 1 billion people are living in poverty, I would say abject poverty, without sufficient food and adequate educational opportunities. In these testing times, science and technology has the potential to not only rescue the humanity, but also ensure sustainable development by laying foundation for new approaches, solutions, and technologies to help identify, mitigate, and addressing the challenges. And by no means one could deny that for more than a century, the developments and innovations in science and technology have and continue to significantly contribute to the sustainable growth, strengthening national economies, resilience, and in addressing major global challenges. All facets of human endeavors are influenced by scientific advancements and their technological applications. Economic prosperity, social development, peace, and environmental conservation are the central elements of a sustainable development, and the role the science and technology, as also the innovations, can play in this regard has been a major focus at the international forums. Basic sciences have provided theoretical basis on which much of the modern day technologies and applied researches have been built and are still relevant. They enable the necessary means for addressing global socioeconomic challenges. We are currently witnessing a new era of development where physical, digital, and biological realms are undergoing a fusion and have huge impact on all sectors of life, economy, and industries. The emerging and fast evolving challenges of the current age necessitate more advances and breakthroughs in the areas of science and technology aimed at solving current and future global challenges. The developing countries will have to come together to share their expertise they possess and exploit the potential of the basic sciences to their advantage. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development sets out an aspirational vision for the long-term sustainability of our planet. It assigns a new role to science, one that includes generating knowledge-based economic and remedies for the challenges facing the humanity. Hence, the understanding and applications of basic sciences are becoming more crucial in addressing major global issues. It is also crucial to have timely and reliable access to knowledge in order to introduce rational policies that reflect a better understanding of complex technical, economic, social, cultural, and ethical issues concerning the society, the earth, and its environment. Therefore, it is necessary to raise general awareness and advocate the cardinal role of basic sciences for sustainable development among people of all walks of life, especially students and scholars, representatives of academic institutions, members of private sector and industry, as well as policymakers. The theme for this year's UN Science Day, as well as the International Year, I must say, is a prudent choice. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to underline that ComSets was established in 1994 with a strong realization by the developing countries to achieve sustainable development through cooperation and concerted efforts in the field of science and technology. In today's highly competitive environment, we are all witnessing the fact that the need to be abreast with scientific and technological development and progress is critical. In this regard, South-South and triangular cooperation being facilitated by the international organizations such as ComSets is playing an essential role in socioeconomic development. ComSets is at the forefront of sensitizing the countries in the South to the centrality of science and technology in the development process, as well as its integration in the national and regional development plans and economies. ComSets, as an international organization, intergovernmental organization of 27 countries, has been promoting science and technology through a variety of initiatives. And I have intentions to introduce more and make ComSets more vibrant through policy initiatives, which are related to capacity building, collaborative research and development, an exchange of knowledge, experiences, good practices, and technological resources among the member countries. And let me also emphasize that I have no doubt that despite being developing countries, I think we have enough capacity and expertise to share with each other to our advantage. ComSet's network of centers of excellence, currently comprising 24 reputed R&D centers and science and technology universities, offer remarkable research and training opportunities for the researchers from the developing economies. ComSets is privileged to have excellent collaboration with various like-minded international and scientific institutions. Most of the representatives of these institutions are sitting here, luckily present here. At the end, I once again thank UNESCO, ComStech, ECUSF, PSF, and PS for collaborating with ComSets. Such cooperation should continue in future. Rather, I would like to formally request the partner organization and relevant institutions to support ComSet's activities and increasing our outreach. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to invite Director, UNESCO Islamabad, Dr. Yusuf Filali Miknasi. Please, sir.
Thank you. It's always difficult, to come until the last one because a lot of things, were already said. But respected professor and doctors, Mohammed Iqbal Shudari, Shashid Mahmoud Beg, Tasawar Hayat, Said Kumail Taibi, and Ambassador and Dr. Mohammed Nafis Zakaria. Dear scientific community and colleagues, good morning and assalamu alaikum. Today, we are celebrating the World Science Day for Peace and Development with a focus on basic science for sustainable development, recalling the important role of science in society and the need to engage the wider public in debate on emerging and important contemporary issues relevant to science. And I quote, Mrs. Audrey Azoulay, Director General of UNESCO. Basic sciences can and should be our best allies to respond to contemporary challenges. During this decisive time of climate disruption, supporting scientific development and fostering scientific understanding is no longer an option. It is a necessity. The application of basic sciences are important for advances in medicine, industry, agriculture, water resources, energy planning, environment, communication, and culture, affirmed the United Nations General Assembly in December 2021. It is a fact that the share of domestic research expenditure for basic sciences vary from one country to another. According to data from the UNESCO Science Report of 2021, for 86 countries, some devote less than 10% of their research expenditure to basic sciences. Ladies and gentlemen, basic research has led to breakthroughs that have led not only new technologies, but even entirely new field of sciences. For example, polymerized chain reactions, PCR, which was already mentioned this morning, is a technique used to copy tiny segment of DNA. PCR act like a magnifying glass, making it easier to analyze this DNA segment. PCR has a wide range of application. Over the past 2 years, PCR has been used countless times to test individuals for infection of COVID. PCR can also be used to detect a genetic disorder or to further our understanding of evolutionary relationship between different organisms. In chemistry, basic research is laying the foundation for green application, such as innocuous alternative to toxic chemicals and solvent. More energy efficient chemical progresses, biodegradable chemical and waste. Now more than ever, we need an integrated, interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary approach to development. Celebration of the 2022 World Science Day provide a perfect opportunity to mobilize the scientific community to bring science closer to society, to promote areas like science policy and capacity building, environmental sustainability, and water security. The United Nations General Assembly noted in December 2021 that we need more basic sciences to achieve the 2030 agenda and its 17 sustainable development goals. Science, technology, and innovation are critical drivers behind sustainable development and economic growth. For this reason, scientists should be provided conducive environment so they can work freely for the betterment of humanity. Scientific data, scientific research, and its result should be made available to all stakeholders so they can benefit and take maximum advantage. In this regard, last year, 193 member states of UNESCO adopted UNESCO's recommendations on open science. By encouraging science to be more connected to societal needs and by promoting equal opportunities to all, open science can be helpful in bringing the science, technology, and innovation gaps between and within countries. By linking science more closely with society, World Science Day for Peace and Development aims to ensure that citizens are kept informed of development in science. It also underscores the role of scientists play in broad gaining and in our understanding to the planet and in making our societies more sustainable. I congratulate all partners for organizing this successful event, and I will thank you. Shukriya.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yusuf. Now we'll move on to the final part of our event today with a quick panel discussion. We are very thankful to our panelists present here today for this event. Professor Dr. Zabta Khan Shinwari, a UNESCO laureate, distinguished national professor, Professor Emeritus, Quaid-e-Azam University, Islamabad, Pakistan. Thank you, sir. We have Professor Dr. Mohammad Aslam Beg, distinguished national professor, National Center of Physics, Professor Emeritus, Quaid-e-Azam University. Thank you, sir. And lastly, Dr. Nazir Muhammad, Assistant Professor, Pak Austria, Schule, Pakistan. We'll begin the panel discussion. I'll push forward a few questions and then our panelists can give their comments on it. We'll start off with Professor Dr. Mohammad Aslam Beg. Sir, can you please signify and elaborate on the significant role of basic sciences to tackle issues like poverty, inequality, and to promote sustainable development? You can also mention from your experience as to how your research or scientific field has contributed to addressing any of these challenges. Yes, sir.
Yeah, on. Assalamu alaikum ji. I think it's a very good time to address these issues. But before I start, I think we are missing one thing. The person who actually initiated this proposal to celebrate Science Day, International Science Day, it was Professor Ashfaq. I think we should remember him. And he was a man who actually is a godfather. Coming back to the World Science Day that we are celebrating. So what is science? I think science is based on curiosity. We try to understand the nature. We try to see how the nature has developed and how the things are really evolving. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. So this is a very common phrase quoted in Quran, in Bible, as well as in Torah. What is light? Light, when it falls on an object, only then that becomes visible. And light its basis was in fact developed purely on mathematics. There are 4 equations, very well-known equations, class Maxwell. He developed these 4 equations, and then at the end, he said, what is the emission of radiation? What is the light? It is electromagnetic wave, electric vector, magnetic vector, and perpendicular to its sort of motion. People always say there is a basic sciences and applied sciences. I think it's not appreciated version. A basic sciences means not yet applied. All the sciences, they are based on basic sciences, and once you mastermind the basic sciences, and then it can be applied. Imagine the universe. There's a sun, there's the earth, there's one-to-one correspondence on atoms, there's a nucleus, the electrons. And what's the radiation? Whenever the electron jumps from one orbit to the other, it emits the radiation. So the nature, the God when said, let there be light. So this is the light we have understood through our basic knowledge. My personal experience about the basic sciences is, in fact, I got training almost 10 years working in Germany on the synchrotron radiation. This is nothing, it's simply an electron revolving in an orbit, approaching the velocity of light, and then it emits the radiation that is known as synchrotron radiation. So I got this experience, but then later, this experience of basic sciences was used, in fact, by UNESCO. They offered me a position at UNESCO funded project known as Sesame. It's a 16th nation joint venture. It is the synchrotron radiation facility being built in Jordan. So I was the founder director of science. And remember, this project was purely a scientific diplomacy. They were not, UNESCO was not, and I'm sorry to say, UNESCO was not interested to complete within the shortest time. They just wanted to bring the nations on a table, like Palestinians, Israelis, Iranians. And as a director of science, it was a tough job for me to bring these people on a table. Then they should discuss the things. When you meet people, you forget what personal grudges, and slowly you try to begin to understand the scientific things. So this project took almost 15 years to complete, and now it is complete. And during these 15 years, I have seen a huge change in the public attitude. The Israelis, they were meeting Palestinians. And I think that is the biggest achievement, and it can be given as a model project. Sesame is funded by UNESCO and 16 nations, Pakistan, Iran, Turkey, Egypt, Jordan, they are the members, Cyprus, they are the members of this one. Once I got this experience, I came back to Pakistan and I developed my laboratory. It's on atomic and laser physics. So because it's a basic sciences and it's really, once it's basic, then you can apply it. From this laboratory, I produced 35 PhDs and about 90 MPhils. And all these students, look at their background, family background, they belong to very normal families. And they needed to be sort of pushed. And once they got their degrees, they were absorbed in national organizations like PAC, KRL, NESCOM. Now, if I go anywhere, I find my students. So I find the importance of basic sciences for the poverty alleviation. I mean, these people, now they are in a very high position and they are really doing a great job. So this is the way how basic science can help to develop a nation, and the nation actually has been getting the output of that one. I would like to suggest a couple of things which I think these are very, very important, that we are not really spending much on education and research. US is spending about 4.9% on education and 3.45% on research. UK 5.2% and 1.7 on the research, Germany 4.5 and 3.15, China 3.6, whereas India 4.5 and we 2.5% education and only 0.2% on research. So this funding in research is reflected the way you publish your high-tech gadgets, your publications. That is the reason we are far behind. So I suggest the policymakers that I think they have to think about how to enhance this funding, and it must be doubled to start with. There are certain ways how we can achieve our country to move forward. I think there is a need to develop certain think tanks. Think tanks, people who are maybe superannuated, they can be involved, they can sit together, they can analyze each and every subject, and they can extrapolate what should be the future. And that is what is missing. I think Pakistan Academy of Sciences and most can really take a lead and form these think tanks. But the fields which we have to select, HEC and PSF has done wonders. We have trained a lot of PhDs. But what are they doing now? I think we are unable to absorb them. My suggestion is that the HEC should define certain fields, select these fields, and then send students and back home. I think we have to establish center of excellence. Once they come back, they can be absorbed, and that is the way to move forward. Not saturate one, like, I'm sorry to say, engineers. I think if something wrong with their generator, no engineer is able to repair it. We ask some metric pass person, he will come and he will repair it. I think there's a need to improve it. We are producing engineers just to sign it. They are becoming chief engineers and they're not really contributing. Whereas doctors, they are doing a lot of good job. But at the same time, there's a mafia. One doctor costs about 10 to 15 million. And once he is graduated, he is unable to find a job. So my request, my suggestion is that I think we have to select certain fields like optics, smart materials, nanomaterials, biomaterials, fiber lasers, and we have to also get the international collaboration like CERN, and that is a place where things are moving. The last 3 Nobel Prizes in physics, they have been given to basic sciences. This year, this Nobel Prize was given to entangled states. Purely imaginative way, but it has a lot of application in engineering. Last year, it was the climate change. And in 2020, it was the detection of black holes. It's just imagination. But the basic sciences has really done wonders. And our country has to go in this direction. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Aslam Beg. Moving on to Professor Dr. Zapta Khanchandwari. Can you briefly comment on what should be the key point of focus for policy and lawmakers to devise and implement the right framework to strengthen science research and education?
Thank you very much. Bismillah ar-Rahman. First of all, I'm grateful to Iqbal Chaudhry, Secretary General, Academy of Sciences, and all other sponsors for inviting us. Incidentally, today we are talking here on basic sciences, and in the afternoon, UNESCO headquarters, we have planned applied sciences. So we are thinking, oh, where is the boundary? What you call a basic and what is applied? So that is the question that we are going to address. I was supposed to go, but then because I had promised here, I will be online in the evening. You all can, in fact, join us again, 7 p.m. Pakistan, 3 p.m. Paris. We are talking about that, whether we will be able to survive the technology that we have developed. So when we talk about policy, unfortunately, if you divide the world into 2, developed and least developed countries, you will see that in here we talk a lot about policy for science, but we rarely use science for policy. In none of your ministries, where the people work, you will rarely find that they have projects based on science. They just, applied. So there is that in country, and candidly speaking, Pakistan Academy of Sciences should have that role. But again, there is a demand and supply, whether the country wants us to do it or not, to have science for policy rather than policy for science. That's another one to the question. And then if we go a little bit more, first of all, the education. What is education? Do you want to have everybody a robot? Do you want to have people who are preparing for you things? Or you want people who could have critical thinking? It's not only for Pakistan or developing country. It's a debate where we in UNESCO also talk a lot about critical thinking and higher education in the world, globally. Are we peaceful today as we were 200 years or 300 years back? So there are questions that we need to address. Of course, science has delivered a lot. Basic science, what you call it. For example, average life of human being today in many countries, it doubled in the last 100 and 150 years. So that is because of the basic science. But then when we discuss all this, you have to understand the boundaries of science within science. For example, how would you think that mathematics is basically the discipline that helps you in biodiversity conservation, measurement, and all this? That's based on mathematics, not on biology. And that is where in the world now interdisciplinary, we talk about quantitative biology or biomathematics, and then we discuss all those issues and we can find if we work together. So my humble submissions to all would be that when we talk about science, and it's not only when I say these words are globally, that we have to look at our education system. In the afternoon that we are talking, if you use sensibly and you have ethics, I work as a ComEst World Commission, UNESCO World Commission for Ethics in Science and Technology, remain co-chair, and we discuss all those ethical issues. You can have your average life 1,000 years in next 500 years. If you have all those technologies and everything, but then when we talk about quality of life and other issues related to all this, whether we will be even, and there is, on contrast to this, there is a discussion also that we will be no more there. The human species may not be there in next 300-400 years if we do everything unattended and we think about too much materialistic. So those are some basic questions. I was told that 4 or 5 minutes, and then we may have some time to even discuss it. But my submission would be that let's think what kind of education we want. Do we want everybody to be a technician, a doctor, and everything? That's enough? Or do we really need that? Why we are here in this world? We being the only species that can be responsible for doing good or bad. We are the one who are taking the decision. We are on the pilot, seat driving the car. So if there is an accident, we are responsible. And if we have safe drive, that's also the human being. So let's rediscover. And this is the solution. The solution also, when we discuss globally, we think that older civilization had solution to a lot of problems. The older way of thinking, older way of implementing all those questions that we were having, they were having solution to it. So let's go back, visit our forefather, and go there and rediscover how can we really, as a human being, be humane. That is a question that we have to address. I put last one sentence, when we talk about poverty and all those issues, sustainable development, 26 individuals, human beings only, have more than half of the world wealth in their hands. Means 50% of the bottom population of the world has less wealth than 26 humans, individuals. If that is the world, imagine what can happen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Zabtahan Chinwari. Over to Dr. Nazir Mohammed. Many industrialized countries have demonstrated that higher investments in science can be the game changer to help alleviate poverty, reduce inequalities, and increase income. Can you share your views on how basic sciences matters for economic growth, especially in the case of country like Pakistan?
Excellencies, distinguished guests, and dear colleagues, it's really an honor for me to be here as a part of Eco Science Foundation Wonderful Day. If we are talking about the industrialized country, as Professor Dr. Tasawwur Yad mentioned about Japan, no doubt basic science can become a game changer. United Nations also mentioned in its Sustainable Development Goals 2 and 12 to deal the mathematics in order to model all the real life problems and situations. But unfortunately, in our country, our students spend most of their time, or you can say their learning proportion, with textbooks. However, in developed country, students are spending their time to tackle the task or real life scenarios by using the basic science like mathematics or something. Technically, there are certain factors involved. You can say demographic factors, instructional factors, or individual factors. In demographic factors, no doubt parental education level is involved, gender or social economics level is involved somehow. Similarly, in the instructional effort, teacher competency and student environment of class or learning environment matters a lot. Irrespective of these factors, natural motivation for stemming the common sense is required. We all know about this, that without utilization of common sense, we do not learn anything. I spent a time in Korea as well in Austria or Germany, you can say. The students over there, they associate the basic sciences with the task beautifully, irrespective of the textbook provided template. In our, you can say, developing country or our country like Pakistan, students try to imitate the given template which is existing in the textbook. If something is out of the course, out of the textbook, they are in trouble. So it is very much needed to see that how we can improve the teacher competency and how we can provide the wonderful infrastructure and the resources to deal the basic science resources, or you can say that the task, so that student can get a maximum benefit from it. And about the industry in Pakistan, I would like to suggest, this is my personal suggestion, that at least 5 to 10% should be spent by all the industries or R&D for the basic science projects, so that students should participate. In Korea, it's the 30%. Each and every industry must allocate 30% of their budgets for the basic science projects, so that student can interactive and student can participate in it. That's all about from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nazir. Lastly, I would like to request Professor Dr. Shahid Mahmood Beg to give a few comments on the importance of critical thinking and finding novel solutions to local contemporary challenges.
Thank you very much. It's very pertinent and very important question. Ladies and gentlemen, critical thinking is very important to understand various physical, natural, and biological laws and mechanisms. If our students don't have the critical thinking, they will not be able to understand these mechanisms, and they will not move forward to the problem-solving strategy. Unfortunately, our academic system is based on rote learning or memorization. And due to this, our students, when they grow up, they don't have the critical thinking, or they don't go towards the problem solving. To address this issue which is very critical and very important. We recently introduced the STEM program in Pakistan. That is the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Under this program, we are going to establish 50 STEM fab labs in all over Pakistan, 10 in each province. And in these STEM labs, our higher secondary school students, they will be able to do the things which they read in their books. It is, the modules are based on their curriculum, and they will be doing these modules by their hands in the labs. And in these labs, we are providing them 3D printers, laser cutter, vinyl cutters, stamp kits, and the modules. These are in line with the curriculum and with their text. And we have imported, and some of the modules have been developed there by experts which are expert in the STEM. And on the basis of the STEM education, the students will be, since the students will be doing things by their hand, it will develop their critical thinkings, lead to their problem solving, and to understand the basic biological, natural, and physical laws of the nature, which they, according to their academic curriculum, they have just memorized. And when they understand these, and we are very hopeful that after 5 to 10 years, we will have very good scientists whose basic education have been through the STEM system. And in parallel to the STEM system of education, we have also introduced the science talent farming scheme. Under this program, we motivate and encourage the very good students of this country to go into basic sciences as well, to excel in mathematics, in physics, in chemistry, biology, nanotechnology, artificial intelligence, etc. This is a problem here. The best students are this part of the world. They prefer to be a medical doctor or engineer. And we are trying to motivate our students that even if you go in medicine or engineering, after completing your education, you still have very good chances to become a very good scientist. The best research in medical sciences all over the world is being done by medical doctors who are MD and PhD. But in our system, once the student has completed his medical or engineering education, they think now it is end of their academics and learning, and now this is the start of their professional life. And in professional life, they don't spend much time on research and inquiry-based science, etc. So Pakistan Science Foundation, with the help of all our stakeholders and partners which are sitting with us today, we are trying to introduce this type of system in Pakistan, that is through STEM and through STFS, to motivate our young students to excel in the basic sciences as well. Unfortunately, you see, we have not been able to produce very good scientists from this part of the world. Although the best mathematician of our country is sitting with us, not of our country, but this the whole region. Professor Sabur Hayat, I think it is the only mathematician which this country has ever produced. But we need many more mathematicians in our country. We have not contributed much. It is, I think, this is due on us to contribute our part in the recent science and technology. We have become a consumer society. We have to bring a paradigm shift through our new system of education, that is STEM and STFS, to motivate our young students to be future scientists, future physicists, mathematicians, nanotechnologists, bioinformaticians. We really need to work hard to produce some good scientists. And we are very hopeful after 10 to 15 years, we will be able to produce some very good scientists from this part of the world and contribute in the science and technology for the well-being of the humanity and for advancement overall. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Towards the end, I would like to thank all our distinguished guests, distinguished panelists, the media houses that cover the channel, ambassadors, representatives of various countries and organizations present here today, and of course, our collaborators. I would like to invite you all for a group photo outside, followed by tea in the lobby. Please, sir.
Thank you for being.